Okay, I don't know if this is working absolutely correct or not, but I should be live. Just waiting to see if it loads or not. Yep, there we go. Okay. Hello everybody. So it's been a while. And I just realized that is my YouTube studio, so that is the wrong thing that we're going to be looking at. So I'll go and just quickly put on some relaxing music. So hang on a second. Non-copyright as well, because don't want the stream getting claimed. So where is it? Non-copyright. Have I played it recently? No. I'll just have to type it in. There we go. Okay, so let me just see if that's working. I think it should be. There we go. Okay, so let me just. Yeah, I'll turn it up a little bit. So yeah, now we're here. And we're going to be having a little look at the news that's come out. Now, I've had this thumbnail ready for a little bit now. So, there you go. I'll just go and quickly do the usual. YouTube has to update at the wrong time, of course it does. Like, I found out about the news, like, I mean, obviously, I was up when the news was announced, 8 o'clock this morning. But, like, why did it have to be 8 o'clock in the morning? Why couldn't it have been at 9? They really couldn't have waited an hour. It's like, surely you would wait until a time which actually suits Argentinian fans as well. Like, obviously I'm not Argentinian, you can tell by my accent that I'm not. But, just why? Why would you wait that long? I'm waiting for my YouTube to update. Tell you what, I'll go and see if I can get it out on... So I've only got one platform to actually share this on now. Shoot. Because I'm not on Twitter anymore. It says waiting. What do you mean waiting? Okay, there we go. I got it now. Right, so let me just get the link to the stream. Put it up on my Insta. I'll just quickly do like a little I'm live kind of thing. And then we'll be good to go. Hang on. So hello everybody, I am live on my YouTube right now talking a bit about the Colapinto and Doohan announcement. So go check it out. Here's the link above. And yeah, hope to see you in the chat. Hang on a second, I'll go and check chat in a second. Right. There we go. So, we are now officially here. I'm going to see if I can get chat up. I'm trying to figure out how I can do that because I want to see chat. I don't think I can because for some reason it's not letting me log into YouTube for that. Or sorry, it wasn't connecting to chat, I don't think. But I'll go and get it up on my phone because I think that'll probably work better. Wait, studio mode? No, I don't want studio mode. I hate studio mode. It's like two different things on your screen. Right. Anyway, we've got 2 people in chat, so hello to the 2 people that are watching. We're going to get started now with the announcement. So as you can see there, Franco Colapinto to race for... Oh, I've got so many little wires tangled together. So annoying. There we go. Okay, so what we'll do is, we'll start at the very beginning, and that is... yesterday. So I mean, we've got obviously the news now, but there's not just that, there is this news as well. So there is a lot of things that have happened in the last day coming out of the Alpine camp. Hello to everybody that is watching. We've got an increase in viewers. So we'll start off with the Alpine announcing resignation of Oliver Oaks, sorry, the team principal. Now, people a few years ago didn't know who this guy was. He was in charge of the high-tech Formula 2 team for a long, long time, Formula 3 as well. And then Alpine decided to promote him after they sacked. Now, who was it? Was it Bruno Faman? They moved. I think it was Bruno Faman they moved. And the team statement read that. Where's the team statement? Here we go. So the team statement says, BWT Alpine Formula 1 team announces that Oliver Oakes has resigned from his role as team principal. The team has accepted his resignation with immediate effect. As of today, Flavio Briatore will continue as executive advisor and will be covering the duties previously performed by Oliver Oakes. The team would like to thank Oliver for his efforts since he joined us last summer and his contribution in helping the team secure 6th place in the 2024 Constructors' Championship. The team will not be making any further comment. And people have theorized that it might be over what I'm going to start talking about in a minute, and that is this news, the news that I've got in the thumbnail of the video, and that is obviously that Jack Doohan's been demoted and Franco Colapinto has been promoted. So we'll start off with an unbiased perspective, which is I say unbiased perspective, one that doesn't theorize about anything, and that is Alpine's own statement. And this is interesting because typically when a driver's been replaced, they don't put out a statement. They're just out the window, that's it. But that's not the case here because Jack is still with Alpine. So it says here, as part of an ongoing assessment of its driver lineup, the team has made the decision to rotate one of its race seats for the next 5 rounds of the FIA Formula 1 season. Franco has 5 races, that's so weird, says, I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, Kai, that's what I'm going to guess it is. Yeah, it is weird. And yeah, I'll talk a bit about it once I've finished reading the statement, but it says here, BWT Alpine Formula 1 team therefore announces that Franco Colapinto will be paired with Pierre Gasly from the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix ahead of a new evaluation before the British Grand Prix in July. So that's the race that I'm going to. So I don't know who's going to be in the Alpine seat for that race, which is something that's quite interesting. Jack Doohan remains an integral part of the team and will be the first choice reserve driver for this period of time. Franco, who was one of the team's test and reserve drivers, one of many. You said my name right. Okay, Kai, that's good. I'm glad I got it right. Will race with the number 43 on the A525 and will partner Pierre for the first time in Imola ahead of 3 races in 3 weekends in Europe, which also covers the Monaco Grand Prix and the Spanish Grand Prix before 2 races in June for the Canadian and Austrian Grand Prix. Flavio Briatore, executive advisor. Having reviewed the opening races of the season, we have come to the decision to put Franco in the car alongside Pierre for the next 5 races. With the field being so closely matched this year and with a competitive car, which the team has drastically improved in the past 12 months I should say, we are in a position where we need to rotate our driver lineup. We also know that the 2026 season will be an important one for the team, and having a complete and fair assessment of the drivers this season is the right thing to do in order to maximise our ambitions next year. We continue to support Jack at the team as he has acted in a very professional manner in his role as race driver this season. The next 5 races will give us an opportunity to try something different, and after this time period we will assess our options. And then Franco Colapinto has a statement here which states, firstly, I want to thank the team for giving me the opportunity to drive competitively for the next 5 races. Competitively, I don't know if that's a jab at Williams or not last season, but anyway. I will work hard with the team to prepare for the next race in Imola and the upcoming triple header, which will no doubt be intense and a big challenge for everyone. I have stayed sharp and I am as ready as possible with the team's race support testing program as well as on the simulator at Enstone. I will do my best to get up to speed quickly and give my all to deliver the best possible results alongside Pierre. And then Jack Doohan has his statement as well. I'm very proud to have achieved my lifelong ambition to be a professional Formula 1 driver, and I will forever be grateful to the team for helping me achieve this dream. Obviously, this later chapter has been tough for me to take because as a professional driver, naturally, I want to be racing. That said, I appreciate the team's trust and commitment. We have long-term goals to achieve as a team. To achieve, and I will continue to give my maximum efforts in any way I can to help those. For now, I'll keep my head down, keep working hard, watch with interest the next 5 races and keep chasing my own personal goals. So that's the unbiased perspective of Alpine, where it's purely statement. Now we're going to move on to the Formula 1 article. So I'm going to read 3 different articles here, and that is the team announcement, Alpine confirming Colapinto replacing Doohan, and the BBC's version of it, because I want to get a few different versions of events, and yeah, media literacy and all that. So this is not by, it doesn't say who it's by, but I'm guessing it's either, you know, somebody like Lawrence Barretto, Chris Medland, or someone like that. And it states the following. So, Alpine confirmed Colapinto to replace Doohan for the next 5 rounds as team opt to rotate seat. Now, when I first heard the term rotate, the very first thing I thought of was Robert Dornbus and Vitantonio Liuzzi in 2005 at Red Bull. And I think that's quite accurate, to be fair. So it says here, Alpine have confirmed that Franco Colapinto, the Argentine, will replace Jack Doohan for the next 5 race weekends, starting from the upcoming Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in Imola. Now that's quite interesting because, of course, as you can tell by the name, Franco has, I'm pretty sure Franco has Italian heritage. If you actually look, I'm pretty sure he has Italian heritage, so... yeah, so Italian heritage through his father and Ukrainian through his mother, and he has Italian citizenship. So it's like a home race for him. This is the closest you'll get to a home race for him, along with Monza. So this will be an opportunity for him to actually have experienced both of his home races, because obviously Argentina's not been on the Formula 1 calendar since 1998, I believe it was, or 1987, one of those 2 years. It's a bit like that clip of Gary Neville going 94, 95, 96, maybe 97. No, 95, 96, and 97. But anyway, it's yeah. But the team is deciding to rotate the race seat alongside Pierre Gasly. Now this is where it gets interesting. Franco Colapinto es mucho mayor que Doohan. I'm guessing now. I do not speak Spanish very much. But I'm guessing that says Franco Colapinto is much better than Doohan. Now, I'm going to be completely honest and unbiased because I'm Scottish, and whilst yes, I do have a Mick Doohan replica helmet over there, I'm going to remain impartial. I think that both deserve opportunities in Formula 1, and I think that Jack has been quite harshly treated. I think that he drove very well in Bahrain, but he has had a few mistakes. But that's to be expected because it's his first season of Formula 1. 20 million, no se... I'm not going to say that word because I'm worried. Okay, I'll say it. No se pagan por solo 5 carreras. I have no idea what that means. So, hang on a second. I'll go and quickly... I don't know if I can actually... Back to the source now. There we go. Okay, so we're going to translate what that says. 20 millones no se pagan por solo 5 carreras. Okay. 20 million is not paid for only 5 races. That is interesting, and Jack is a good guy but a terrible pilot. Yeah, I get the feeling, and I'm not trying to offend any of you guys. I'm guessing I'm going to be getting a fair few Argentinians in the chat. So I just wanted to say I have no ill will towards Franco. What's quite funny is his management team actually follow me on Twitter. Obviously, I don't use Twitter anymore, but his management team, Bullet Sports Management, they actually follow me on Twitter, which is quite crazy. And his old team, MP Motorsport, do as well. But I'm going to try and remain impartial here. And I'm going to give both sides of the argument. And I do agree, 20 million for 5 races doesn't make sense. I don't know if that's how much is being reported. Now, I am a journalist, so I should know this. But I don't know the inner workings of the deal. I will be completely honest on that. I am a motorsport journalist. I've known about the news for a few days now in terms of it being officially confirmed, because obviously there's been rumours here, there, and everywhere. Epsilon Racing. That's an interesting name. Franco got big balls, bro. Okay, right. Both of them do. Both of them do, because I mean, you have to have big balls to be a racing driver. And in the case of women, have absolutely big brains and big skill sets. You know, you have to have bravery to be a racing driver. Hi from Buenos Aires, friends. Happy like hell. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. If the chat just wants to turn into a bunch of Argentinians happy about the news, I don't mind, okay? As I say that, my viewership goes from 7 people to 12. So what's funny is the last time I went live like this, talking about the Argentina, greetings from Argentina, bro. Greetings. Greetings everybody from Argentina. Epsilon Racing, I'm pretty sure they were like a Formula 1, they were going to be a Formula 1 team in 2010. But anyway, so this news comes following the confirmation on Tuesday evening that Alpine team principal Oliver Oakes has resigned with immediate effect. Executive advisor Flavio Briatore will be covering the duties previously performed by the Briton. So I think everybody can sort of, we watching you. So I think everybody can sort of, unless you are completely, you know nothing about motorsport, you can kind of, you know, piece the bits together and say, yeah, Oakes resigned over this whole saga because he didn't agree with it. Now, Oakes wanted either Doohan or Paul Aron in the car, and the reason why he wanted Paul Aron in the car is because he had experience with him from Formula 2 in the first half of the 2024 season. Vuelve la Bestia FC43 is what, and I know I'm gonna pronounce all of your names wrong because I don't speak Spanish, so I apologize. But Aves says, Daniel Garcia, Jariel Casco, and Jay. Yeah, I don't speak Spanish. I am monolingual, so anything that you guys say, I'll have to put into Google Translate. Working now, it's 5:15 in the morning. I was just saying that earlier. I don't know why Alpine announced this so early in the morning for Argentinians. Surely they should have waited until midday, because then that would have worked for both ends of the deal. Just free the beast. Okay, right, yeah, okay. So yeah, as I was saying, this whole saga between Oakes and Briatore, it's obviously over who they want in the seat, because as I said, Oakes wants either Aron or Doohan, while Briatore wants Colapinto. And I think a big reason for that is because, yeah, as I said, Oakes has experience with Aron, and the thing is I personally think Oliver Oakes, and you guys are going to disagree with me probably on this, but I think Oliver Oakes has got a better opinion on this than Flavio Briatore does, and the reason why is because Oliver Oakes was literally the team principal of High Tech Grand Prix, who raced in the junior series. So he has more of an experience of Franco, of Paul, and of Jack, and of most drivers since, you know, the mid 2010s who have driven in the feeder series. So this is interesting. But yeah, Briatore is now officially taking over the team. Bro, you need to drink, mate. A few. I don't drink alcohol, but I drink soft drinks. Also, right, the thing is you say you need drink. If you're talking about alcohol, legally I am not old enough to drink. I look 18 or 19 or 20 or 21, but I'm only 17. Which is quite crazy. But yeah, having previously served as a reserve driver for the Enstone-based team, it was announced last summer that Doohan was said to be promoted to the main race squad for 2025. The 22-year-old was then given an earlier than expected debut at the 2024 season finale in Abu Dhabi, following the departure of Haas-bound Esteban Ocon. Mate, it's a T, look like. We can teach you to talk Argentinian. It's like different Spanish in some way. Okay, right, so there's slang to it. Okay. Mate, what is Franco drinks? I don't know what Franco drinks. Although to be fair, it's like a tea. Oh, right. Okay, that's what you guys are on about. Okay. I don't drink tea. I don't drink anything apart from Pepsi and water. Okay, and also because I'm Scottish, Iron Brew. So yeah, I think this really gave Jack a negative image. The fact that they debuted him earlier than expected, because some people were like, why don't you just give Ocon a proper farewell? So after starting his first full-time campaign this year, Doohan has struggled to match teammate Gasly, and his trouble continued last time out in Miami, where he retired from the race following a first lap collision with Racing Bull's Liam Lawson. Now there's the, is that the external link? No, it's an internal link. So as a journalist, we have things called internal links on websites, and this improves numbers, SEO numbers. So the reason why they have so many internal links here is because it gets more views for their other articles. But anyway, and then you've got the image and the caption. So was that the feature credit image? I don't know if it actually was or not, but anyway. Franco Colapinto will race for Alpine over the next 5 rounds of the 2025 season, starting at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. What do you think of the races you saw Franco win? So I can testify, and I'm sure many of you can, because you know many of the people in this chat are Argentinian. I've watched Franco since 2022, when he was in the Junior Formula E driving for Van Amersfoort and for MP Motorsport, and I was very impressed by him. I was also impressed by Jack in his second season of Formula 3, and when he was in Formula 2. I think his opening season of F3 was very poor. He was with a poor team, HW Race Lab, who are now known as AIX, I think. Honestly, they've gone through about 1 million name changes in the last few years. And I was quite impressed by Franco and by Jack, especially in Formula 2. I was impressed by both of them. Both of them had brilliant seasons. And as I said, I wish both of them had a chance in Formula 1. And, you know, with Cadillac coming in, I doubt that they are going to have the opportunity. Both of them are going to have opportunities, but both of them are very talented drivers. So we read the next bit. Now Alpine have announced that Doohan's seat will be filled by Colapinto for the next 5 rounds, with the Argentinian having signed to the outfit as one of the roster of reserve drivers. Notice the S. I'm sure you guys will laugh about this as well, but they had up until obviously today, they had 3 test and reserve drivers: Colapinto, Aaron, and Ryo Hirakawa, and obviously now they still have 3, but it's swapped between Colapinto and Doohan, and I find that really funny. They've got about 1 million test drivers. But anyway, that'll be the end of the song. Hang on a second. There we go. So yeah, it says here, following his impressive 9 race run as a substitute at Williams for Williams in 2024, and I think he did have some very, very good drives. I think Doohan has his chance. 6 races that weren't well in any way, so it's natural to step away and let Franco step in, don't you think? I think you need to give a rookie at least half a season, and then you can get a gist of things. Because the thing is, I mean, if you look at the calendar from this season, in a few races we'll see results, bro. You will see, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to be, you know, neutral, and I'm trying to give 2 different perspectives. But if we look at the calendar, right, how many of these races has Jack actually done? He's done Australia, Bahrain, and Saudi. Now, he didn't finish in Australia, and he finished in Saudi, unlike Pierre Gasly. But I think Gasly had, Gasly had that first lap collision with Yuki. And then in Bahrain, he actually he was on for points until they messed up his strategy. And I mean, personally, I think that Flavio Briatore has been looking for any excuse to get rid of him. But that's just my opinion. And I'm not putting anything against Franco there, by the way. I think Franco's a great driver. So it says here, as part of, so that's him basically reading the statement. Doohan has shown flashes of pace, but he's also had a series of incidents in his 7-race run with Alpine. Was it 7 races? Oh yeah, including last season as well, yeah. Including his opening lap collision with Lawson in Miami. No, I shouldn't laugh at it because it was an awful crash, but the memes that came out after this were ridiculous, which were something to the effect of Doohan because he tried it in the simulator and it worked. As well as a heavy practice crash in Suzuka when he failed to close his DRS before turning into turn 1. Colapinto, meanwhile, well, the thing is, right, the only defense I can have for that is that they didn't give him FP1. They gave Ryo Hirakawa FP1, and I'm just thinking, why are you giving him FP1 for this race. Was it Hirakawa or was it Paul Aron, actually? That's a good question. I'll have to check. Practice. Background. Yeah, it was Hirakawa. That's the only defense for doing there, is that he didn't have enough experience at the track. But anyway, Colapinto, meanwhile, returns to the grid following his eye-catching showing in the second half of 2024, where he bagged points for Williams in Azerbaijan and Austin after replacing Logan Sargent. However, his Williams stint also included heavy crashes in Sao Paulo and Vegas. Now, the Sao Paulo crash, I'm not really going to criticize him much over because it was one of his first wet races in F1. The Vegas crash, I mean, it is a tight circuit, but, you know, mistakes like that aren't great. And, you know, all Formula 1 drivers make mistakes because they're all humans, but to have, you know, that many crashes in such a short amount of time isn't great. Doohan's had just as many big ones, though, so I suppose it sort of levels out. 2025 Miami Grand Prix, Doohan out of the race after a lap 1 clash with Lawson. And then you've got the statements from both of them. Flavio Briatore has said the team need to rotate their lineup. Good thing about Doohan is that he taught us. That is true, Ave says. That is true. That is true. We have learned now what happens when you activate the DRS. I mean, there has been, you know, all sorts of incidents over the years with it. To have a complete and fair assessment of their drivers ahead of 2026. I don't know if you guys remember this, right? But I don't know if you guys played the old F1 games, but in F1 2012, you could actually like do practice and activate DRS whenever you wanted on the track. Oh my god, I love this song. Anyway, so yeah, Flavio Briatore's statements there as well, and that's that. And now we're gonna have a little look at Alpine's, not Alpine, sorry, BBC's, and just want to see what they have to say about it, if they have anything to say. No, it's not. There's not. So yeah, let's have a little look at both of their career results now. Yes, I'm using Wikipedia for this. I am not going to argue with any of you about that. So we'll start off with Mr. Doohan. And we'll start off right at the very beginning in British F4. So British F4 2018, he finished 5th in the standings. And in the Rookie Cup, he beat Dennis Hauger, which is, to be fair, not too bad. But he lost out by 1 point to him. He finished behind Kieran Jewis and Ayrton Simmons and Jonathan Hoggard. But they were all British drivers who had plenty of experience already. Then in the ADAC F4 Championship, he finished 12th after doing only a few rounds, so he didn't do too bad in that. How many drivers were competing? There was 23 drivers competing. He only did a few rounds, and he actually didn't do too bad. He beat the likes of, yeah, to be fair, there isn't many drivers in there who are particularly stand out, that didn't do full-time season. But, you know, you can't really test those results. However, you can test results in F3 Asia, and he finished 2nd in that, but there wasn't really much of a field in there as well, so I mean, again, haven't really got very accurate one. He beat Mazepin in F3 Asia, although to be fair, that's not much of an achievement, because Mazepin's now out of a Formula 1 seat. I can criticise that man as much as I like. He was an absolute stinker of a driver. So yeah. Then we've got his 2020 F3 campaign, and it was a stinker. HWA Race Lab were absolutely awful in F3 though. They only had one good driver, and that was Jake Hughes. Fittipaldi had the odd good result. And then, yeah, Matteo Nannini literally just carried the team in 2021. Again, I'm pretty sure he's Argentinian as well. Pretty sure he is. Yeah, he is. So that's another one for you guys to support. And then he had a really, really good season with Trident in 2021. He finished behind Dennis Hauger in the standings by only 26 points, so not too bad. He beat Clement Novalak, who was his teammate, and also David Schumacher, who was his other teammate. as well as Logan Sargent, although Logan Sargent was in a much poorer car. He also beat Victor Martins, but Martins had less experience, and Frederick Vesti, but Vesti had already done a few seasons at that point and had already gotten some pretty good results, so he didn't even need that. And then he actually had a really good stint at the end of 2021. In 6 races, he scored 7 points. And then in 2022, he finished 6th in the standings as a rookie, which was quite impressive. Because if you look at the rookies, I think, was it Sargent? No, it was Iwasa. Oh no, Sargent did win it, but he already raced in 2021. So he finished 3rd highest out of the rookies, which wasn't too bad. And he did a decent job of it. So there you go. And then in 2023, he came back for another season. And the thing is people forget this, but first half of the season, he got screwed over by Virtuosi. So he probably could have been a championship contender if it wasn't for that. But that's me giving him, positive reviews. And then obviously you've got his pretty disastrous stint in F1. And then we move on to the man who replaced him. There he is, Franco Colapinto. And we'll have a little look at his racing record. So he did only a couple races in Spanish F4 in 2018, and then in 2019 he came in and dominated with Drive X, who were founded by Pedro de la Rosa. And not much competition in that, though. I mean, it's bad when Giorgio Carrera won 3 times in it. No offense, Argentinians, but he was not great in F3. Not great. He finished 16th in the Spa feature, to be fair, but I don't know. So then after these results, he moved up to Formula Renault Euro Cup, and he had a really, really good rookie season. He finished 3rd. I don't know why he says he wasn't a rookie, because he was, and he beat quite a few drivers in that. David Vidales, Lorenzo Colombo, William Alatalo. I don't know if any of you remember William Alatalo, but William Alatalo, my goat, absolute legend. Paul Aron he actually beat as well, who had almost as much experience in the category as him. And then he finished 3rd in the Toyota Racing Series. I think Fraga won it ahead of Lawson. And then he was 3rd, and he beat Yuki. Look at this field, though. Look how many talented guys there are. I mean, the top 4, 3 of the top 4 ended up becoming Formula 1 drivers, which is crazy. And then you've got Rui Andrade, who drives in WEC. There's loads of WEC drivers in there. But anyway, then 2021 Asian Le Mans Series. So he obviously did Asian Le Mans Series. Finished 3rd with Rui Andrade, who I just mentioned. Although, to be fair, there was only 4 full-time drivers in the LMP2 Championship in the first place. One of them was Sean Galale, which is quite funny. Sean Galale, absolute legend. And then he did Formula Regional in 2021 as well, and he finished 6th in that. Now, it doesn't say he's a rookie, but he was. And he only scored 26 points less than Isaac Hadjar, who's had a very, very impressive time in the... Oh, wait a minute. No, because this is Formula Renault Euro Cup's replacement, isn't it? So he wasn't a rookie. But he did miss 2 rounds. So you could argue he could have gotten more points. So, just playing devil's advocate again. Sorry, I'm a fence sitter, guys. I'm a journalist. I need to have unbiased perspectives of things. And then ELMS he also did. So he's got a lot of experience in sports cars. And in ELMS he finished in 4th. Now, this is actually a bit of a better representation, because look how many drivers there are full time. There's loads. So he finished 4th with Roman Rusinov and Nick De Vries driving for G-Drive Racing. I don't know why Nick De Vries didn't do Monza 2021. I think it might have been because he was in Formula E at the time. So he had a very, very good time of it in that, finishing only behind Panis, United Autosports, and WRT. So decent. So then 2022 Van Amersfoort F3. Now that result doesn't speak for how good it was, because if you look at his teammates, I'm pretty sure he had Rafael Villagomez and... Who was his other teammate? Was it Sophia Flörsch that was his other teammate? Oh, no, it was Risu Shijima, that's who it was. And they did not have good seasons at all. I think Ushijima had a podium in Hungary. Oh, no, it was Silverstone, never mind. I was there, I should have known that. But apart from that, he had a really poor season. Franco, on the other hand, got 5 podiums, sorry. There's a second there you can't see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 podiums, including 2 wins. I remember that sprint win in Imola. It was incredible. And I watched that feature race in Bahrain, and he was brilliant in that. And then in his second season, he finished 4th with MP, which is again like pretty good because, I mean, MP aren't the best Formula 3 team. So at the end of 2023, he did 2 races. He didn't score points, but that's to be expected. And then in the first half of out 20 out of 28, he did in F2. Now, if I translate that into calculator, right? I'm going to do a little bit of quick math here. So 20 divided by 28. So that's 71% of the season. So now you times that by 96. And then you add on that from 90, and then you add on 96 again. He would have scored 164 points by the look of things if he had raced the whole season. And 164 points would have put him 3rd in the standings. So he could have finished top 3 in the standings if he had done the whole season. But instead, he of course went to Williams, had that brilliant race in Baku, that good race in America. Obviously, he retired in Sao Paulo with the crash. Didn't have a great time of it in Qatar or Abu Dhabi. Had that big crash in Vegas. But he was a lot better than Logan Sargent was. Obviously, he was just warming the seat up, though, for fellow Spanish-speaking driver Carlos Sainz. So we've been live for 37 minutes now. And to be fair, I think that's mostly everything I wanted to look at, to be honest. You know, looking at the difference between the two. I mean, we could have a little look at, you know, the history of Argentines in Formula 1. Because obviously, I'm a history channel. You're watching the learning channel. And Australians, but to be fair, I don't think I really need to do that. And yeah, I think that's going to be all. He did race at 24-hour Le Mans, I forgot to say that. And he finished 7th in his class, 12th overall. This was back when Toyota, when basically, when WEC was basically a farmers league where Toyota just dominated. Glickenhaus! I don't know if any of you remember Glickenhaus. Legends. Absolute legends. Legends. Anyway. So yeah, he finished 12th in his, and you know, 7th in his class behind WRT, Jota, Panis, United Autosports, who are actually run by Zach Brown, I believe. Yep. Inter-Europol competition, and IDEC. And in terms of drivers that are on there, you know, you've got former F1 drivers like Stoffel Van Dorn, Paul Di Resta, and then you've also got very experienced drivers such as Tom Blomqvist, Sean Galil, Ferdy Habsburg, Robin Freins, Will Stevens, who also drove an F1, Jakub Smakowski. You know, there's a lot of experienced guys in there. Alex Brundle as well, of course, Alex Lynn. There's loads of really good drivers in there. And he actually beat Antonio Felix da Costa, Anthony Davidson, Roberto Gonzalez. So that's pretty impressive because obviously Anthony Davidson drove an F1 and Felix da Costa's a Formula E champion. So he did a pretty good job in that. Also beat JPM, but to be fair, JPM's, you know, what, 51 now? 49. Yeah. See, I think that's going to cover everything pretty much, guys. Thank you all very much for watching this stream. It's good to see so many Argentinians in the audience, and I hope I didn't piss you guys off too much, because again, you know, I saw what happened to. I'm gonna be honest and say I saw what happened to Canapino, and I don't want to anger you guys. I just want to very quickly say I supported Argentina in the World Cup final in 2022. I am German though, so I didn't support them in 2014. So. There you go. Well, when I say I'm German, my grandfather was German. So, yeah, I hope I didn't, you know, anger you guys too much. I tried to stay impartial as I could, but I do think Franco deserves a shot, albeit not in this way. I'm going to go before you guys start spamming